So now we need a salute to the flag. Do we have company for this one?
Yes, we have a special presentation. Because it'll tie into our meeting.
Oh, we're going to stand up, yeah. Okay, they've been standing for a long time because they say it changes.
Kids do it.
Welcome to WVRS News. This is Lauren from Mr. Chase's class.
This is Ashley from Mr. Neal's class. Today is Monday, May 2nd, and it is E-Day.
Last week, the 6th grade students participated in their second annual Swim for Heart,
Which is organized by Mr. Chatty and Mr. Hawkins.
The students had a goal of swimming 2,016 laps within 25 minutes.
After 25 minutes of swimming, the students not only hit their goal,
But as one student said, we crushed our goal by swimming 2,674 laps.
good morning, this is your wellness wake-up call.
Some foods just have one ingredient.
For instance, an apple is just that, an apple.
It gets more complicated when manufacturers have to combine ingredients to make something else.
Some foods can have more than 50 ingredients.
See if you can find out how many ingredients are on the labels of your favorite foods.
Some of the healthiest foods we can eat are whole fruits or vegetables that don't have a label.
Enjoy your day the healthy way.
Lunch today is waffle sticks with turkey sausage.
On Tuesday, we are having chicken nuggets with peas and carrots.
On Wednesday, there is baked macaroni and cheese.
Thursday, we will be having cheese ravioli of seasoned green beans.
Finally, Friday's lunch is deep dish pizza.
Be sure to try the taste testing in the cafeteria on Thursday.
It's cantaloupe and honeydew.
Weather this week is going to be partly cloudy. The temperature is going to be in the mid-60s.
On Tuesday, the 5th grade will be going to the New Haven Symphony Orchestra.
On Thursday, May 5th, there's Pennies for Puppies.
What is Pennies for Puppies?
Pennies for Puppies is a fundraiser to help support K-9 first responders.
The K-9 First Responders organization uses trained therapy dogs following a traumatic event to promote feeling of comfort or calm.
Student Council has selected 4th grade to meet and greet the dog teams and their handlers on Thursday, here at Beecher.
The unique opportunity is brought to you by the Student Council.
Very friendly. He's an American Akita. He's 6 years old. He weighs about 120, 125 pounds. And he stands about 5'4" when he gives you a hug.
Wow.
Doesn't that make you feel good about yourself? Knowing the dog is a little... and he has a horse collar? Is that...
Well, this is a lead for a horse that I use as a leash.
Oh, okay.
So, tell us
Does that make you feel good?
Yeah, I want to hear about the program.
Okay. K-9 First Responders is a psychological trauma response agency. We leverage the connection between man and dog and use it for good. We will go to scenes or we're involved in protocols with first responding agencies, and we'll help people who are traumatized lower the blood pressure, their anxiety.
Arts Week is June 6th to the 10th. Remember that the theme is Color Arts Week 9 Green.
It's all about recycling. We'll be creating a whole school project with recycled plastics.
Start collecting cardboard tubes and stay tuned for more information about what else to save.
And when to bring items into school. Last week's word of the week was convey.
Do you remember what it meant?
It meant to communicate, talk to others, or to make known.
Try to use the word of the week when you speak to others to improve your vocabulary.
The new word of the week is resilience.
It means to bounce back from a negative situation or experience.
An example sentence is, the K-9 first responders, dogs, and their handlers from Milford, Connecticut, love and want to help people in a sad or stressful situation to show more resilience.
So friendly dogs help people to work through their feelings and decide their next steps.
4th grade students at Beecher will meet these special therapy dogs on Thursday, May 5th.
Try to use and show this word resilience.
It will help you communicate with your friends during recess, as well as have confidence during your reading, writing, math, science, and all of your specials.
So just remember, have a positive view of yourself, and along with having grit,
You can build up your resilience. This week we will be learning 2 words.
open and shut. Open, open, open.
Shut, shut, shut. Next time you use these words, don't just say them.
Sign them too.
Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks for watching. See you again next week. Hey, where's my cup?
You brought magic to feature, Mr. Crawford. Wow. Okay, Chris, correspondence?
No.
No. Marcia, public comment? Vince? Oh my God, and Steve's not here.
Once every 2 years.
Okay, Burley? Burley? Oh, okay.
So I've never been to a board meeting before, or a Board of Education meeting. I had to Google what a Board of Education was, since I'm from Belgium, so I'll try to do justice to the system here. I wanted to reach out to you about MAG, because I don't know if you are aware of the numbers this year, but there were 22 applicants in addition to the 8 siblings that were automatically admitted to the program. That means that 10 children are placed on the waiting list.
Is this year, isn't first year have 11 kids in it? Or is that 4th year?
Fourth year.
Oh, okay. So there's
Is that
21.
About
microphone
next week-
on?
next year's
I feel like
first
I
grade.
can't really hear it.
I think it is.
Okay.
So our son is number 6 on the waiting list. So just from a personal perspective, you can imagine first you go through the process of trying to figure out what you think is best for your child, and then you go through the disappointment. Okay, so what now? And also, the few other parents that we know that went through the same thing feel the same way. We're not quite sure how to approach things. We reached out first to the teachers. They were extremely professional in their response, very positive, and also very cautious. We reached out just this afternoon, and I apologize for my timing, to Dr. Stella and Mrs. Briscoe, because honestly I've been extremely impressed with how well they work together with parents and with teachers. I'm not trying to bypass them in any way. Also, it's not that we've been unhappy with our experience. Kindergarten was great. We and the other parents moved to Woodbridge, 4 Beecher Road. Your reputation is outstanding. We have full confidence that you're going to do a great job in both programs. But we do have a lot of concerns, and MAG promises to be a way to address some of those concerns more easily, because you're working with the same group of parents. So ideally, honestly, we would like all of the 10 kids to be accepted into MAG next year. We understand this is a very difficult issue for the school, and that may not be possible, but we would just like to reach out to everybody to try and find the best way forward. Specifically for the board, we had a couple of questions. One is, if increasing interest in MAG is a trend, what has happened in the past when there were more applicants than spots? Might there be a possibility to expand MAG ideally for the fall? And then might the Board of Education have suggestions for the families that did not make it in? Might there be a way to bring some of the elements of MAG into the conventional classroom in the short term? And what might be realistic or long-term goals?
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Consent agenda. I think the only thing in the consent agenda is the minutes from last month. So does anybody have any extractions? No? Okay. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, great. All right, so we are on the CAVE Communication Award presentation. And then you.
President was supposed to come here tonight to present
So should we move this down in the agenda?
this. Yeah, let's move it down on
Okay,
the agenda,
sure.
and if the person doesn't come, we can put it on the next one.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
Tim,
Jeff
you're up.
also.
That was quick.
All right, so for the PTO update, some of the latest things that have been going on, we had our teacher appreciation luncheon that was very well received. Everyone really liked it. And Liz Mahler and company did a really nice job, and he's congratulated. Upcoming events, we have the book swap coming up, Arts Week.
When's the book swap?
The book swap, you had to ask me that.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Well, just because they said Arts Week is the 6th.
Next week.
Okay,
The
next
book
week.
swap is
Okay.
next
All
week,
right.
yeah. And then Arts Week is the first week of June.
Thank you.
And then on Monday evening, we have our end-of-the-year PTO meeting, open to everyone, where we'll review the budget, review this past year, and vote on the officers for next year. And witness my exit.
Yeah.
as
We will
well.
miss you.
Yes. We've done really well this year financially. We still have a budget surplus that we'll also be discussing at this meeting, how to use that. And we raised over $30,000.
That is fantastic.
Over $33,000 actually, again.
That's great.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it continues to be really strong, a lot of support from the community for it. Our special activities are now complete, and one of the 6th grade, Yoko Watson, had to cancel. which was-
no.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
unfortunate. There was an illness in her family, and
Oh.
she couldn't make it. So
Yeah.
that was, the 6th graders were really disappointed.
Yeah,
But it happens.
yeah.
And graduation is coming up. So we're gearing up for field day and graduation and the pool party.
The yearbook.
And the yearbook committee's been meeting.
Good.
So that's what's happening.
Okay.
Tim, I have to say, once again, I'm speaking for the faculty and the staff and the administrators. We're so grateful to our PTO. You really helped to create a large community, a very active one, and you bring so much value, you as an organization, individually and collectively. The luncheon for the teachers was spectacular. The way you went about it really showed that you cared about our staff, and it came across loud and clear. So please extend our thanks to the executive board, and we'll have a few suggestions about the surplus if you don't mind.
Bring them to the meeting one day.
It's wonderful. What a school. What a school district. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Okay, so I think maybe we can go back to the CAVE communication.
I apologize for...
No, that's okay.
Sure.
Did you want to start, Dr. Stella?
Well, CAVE is a very important organization in the state, and it's wonderful that our school board belongs to it. And CAVE in many ways affirms the work of school districts, and one way is affirming the communication. We've received a number of awards for CAVE over the past years, and we're very happy that we're receiving some this year. And we thank you for coming personally to deliver them. So please come and introduce yourself. And
hello, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm Elaine Whitney. I'm a member of the Westport Board of Ed and also an officer of CAVE, the Connecticut Association of Boards of Ed. And thank you. It is a great organization, and it's very appreciated. I know some of your members have been active in the professional development there. We appreciate that. I do apologize for being late, but I got a lovely chance. I went to the wrong end of the building. A wonderful chance to see the amazing artwork that your children have produced and how wonderful it is to display it for the community. So I'm here to recognize you for the terrific accomplishments of communicating actively and engaging with your community. And there's 2 awards that your district has won. Even for a small district, that's quite impressive to have 2 awards reflected. The first, and I'm not sure who, if there's a particular individual who wants to receive them. I know, Dr. Stella, you have personally been involved in some of them. One is for the Beecher Road School Parent and Student Handbook, which was a terrific communication device to the family and students.
If I may suggest, since this is communication, why don't we take a photo opportunity and ask Mrs. Briscoe to come up, and our board chair to come up and receive the award.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you, and congratulations so much.
come on over here.
So nice to, okay. So who, I'm not sure which of you is most responsible, but I'm going to give this to you for the handbook to the parents and students. Thank you very much.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much. That's a terrific device. And then I believe, Dr. Stoll, you're probably most directly responsible for, this award is for the communication tool of communicating with the Board of Finance, and you're funding the Board of Selectmen as well to help show the compelling reasons why education is so critical and why the community needs to invest in education, and did a great job.
And our board chairs in this also.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I come and clap.
2, 3.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much. Congratulations.
The thing that's true about when Dr. Stella speaks to the Board of Finance and Board of Selectmen to present our budget, I think he's got to be the only superintendent on the planet who gets a standing ovation at the end of a request for 2.5%, to our budget. So
It's always a team effort. I may be the spokesperson, but it's a team effort. And we thank you. Please extend our thanks to the Executive Board of Cable also.
Thank you. I will. I appreciate it so much. And congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Stella, you're on.
Oh my goodness here, what am I going to say? I'll think of something. Don't worry.
I knew that was going to be true.
First of all, I want to thank the board for really putting the focus on children, because we start our meeting not with the superintendent's update. We started with children, and through the use of technology, we highlight the weekly broadcast, and that's a program where children produce and direct communication for children throughout the school. And this broadcast really creates a community. We have 173,000 square feet. We have pre-K to 6. We have 800 students. This broadcast brings children together. If you go around the classrooms and you see the kindergarten children looking at their elders presenting the word of the week and so on and all that, they take it in from pre-K right up to 6th grade. Now this happens because we have wonderful teachers who know how to bring out the best in children and give the opportunity to do that. One of our newest members of the staff of our tech team, a team like no other, is Danielle Ulako. And she picked up the stick from Mr. Crawford, who started this a number of years ago, and has taken it to a new level. So we invite you to say a few words about the broadcast.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Ulako. I'm a member of the Library Tech team here at Beecher, and I'm the WBRS News Advisor. Each week, a different group of 6th grade students come down to the library to start writing our script on Thursdays. So Thursdays, students go out throughout the building to find news. They visit the office. They visit a teacher for the word of the week. They're out there gathering the information, and they're using their iPads while they're out there to collect the information. They're typing it as they go. Because when they come back, we meet here in the library and we use Google Apps and we use Google Classroom to collaborate together in the same document to write our script for the week. And with Google Classroom, students can actually access it at home or on the go, wherever they can log in with their account. So some students prepare the night before and really want to be ready for Friday when we film, or some students just want to have access to print it whenever they choose. So Fridays we meet back here in the tech center and we're ready to film. Students bring their iPads, which they use as a teleprompter in front of them. We also use our smartboard and our projector, so students who prefer to look past the camera at the board, they can read right off of that, so that eases some tension. And then it goes on the news over the weekend, so when everyone comes in Monday morning, it's live, ready for teachers to press play when they choose to. And I'm here tonight to announce that we're finishing our 5th season, and as of today, you can access the 5th season's episodes on our district website, because with the board policy changes, we have gotten parent permission from every 6th grader that is on film. So when you visit our district website, you can find the episodes, which are behind a password-protected page, which parents and community members can access through classroom teachers here. They will have the passwords next week. And the episodes also have a 2-week delay. So the episodes go up 2 weeks after they have already happened. And that's that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
Wow.
wonderful.
I think you and Mr. Crawford. Mr. Ulanko and Mr. Crawford, we're going to submit this here for a communications award for next year.
All right.
I expect that somebody's going to be coming in with a big trophy or something.
I'm taking notes.
For work on part of it, the part of it. This is absolutely wonderful, what you're doing. And I would encourage everyone to take a look at the. You could really learn a lot about Beecher Road School and what happens, better than the superintendent's updates. These children really get into the nitty-gritty of what's happening in the school and what's of value. So you have a whole series of them. So thank you so much. I want to share a few other things with you. And the district is the school is the district. We're so fortunate to have a wonderful principal like Mrs. Briscoe. And sometimes, figuratively, we dance together. So even in my reports, if I overlap anything, just jump in, Gina, and just add anything or enhance anything that I'm saying. But I want to start with a few congratulations. First, Al Pulo received the second award, state award, from CASBO, the Connecticut Association of Business Officials. They recognized him as the recipient of this year's Innovative Practice Award. And again, that had to do with tools for school. And Al, in his humility, always says it's a team effort and it's an acknowledgement of the school, which it is. And there are a lot of people that have a lot to do with that, including our principal and different representatives from our staff. So Al, in absentia, congratulations to Jane Roddy, too. On this coming Thursday, Jane will receive a 25-year anniversary award from the school, from the State School Nutrition Association of Connecticut. This is a special banquet, and we're proud of the fact that she'll be honored. It highlights the fact that there are many staff members, faculty members who have given and are giving years of service, are very committed to this school system, this district, and this town, and that's what helps us to have a very high quality education. So we congratulate you, Jane. Now the facilities committee is coming up. Should I save some of that for that?
No, that's whatever you want to share.
All right. It's been a 2-year process, but citizens of Woodbridge, I'm speaking to the camera, thank you again for doing the impossible. We've had a major upgrade of our heating system, energy system, HVAC. We've saved lots of tax dollars and money in doing it and made a more comfortable environment for our children. So we're in the final stages. One of the final stages is the doors in the south of the building are being completely replaced. So we have alternate exit routes for that. We have a ribbon cutting ceremony that's scheduled for Tuesday, May 31st and 9/15. It will be a day of celebration because that upgrade has brought a lot of good things to our children and also to our community, because this is a community school. Another point of information is that the Panorama Parent Survey was launched. It was supposed to be officially launched on Monday. The company we hired is so efficient that they launched it on Friday. It was like a little surprise, but that's all right. We're up to a 20% 20+% participation rate already. Is that correct, Mr. Crawford?
Yeah, we're currently, right now, at 21.3%, 116 families have responded.
Okay, and it's growing.
And it's growing.
So, yeah, Mr. Crawford, again, is a member, he's a teacher in the school, but also our coordinator of technology, and is really helping us to connect with parents and different types of communication. So he's a lead person in connecting with Panorama. The Panorama survey is the same one that was given 2 years ago, so it'll give us a chance to look for trends and to get insight from parents. It's one form of communication, it's not everything. And by the way, anything that's brought to our attention, we'll follow up with, so I'll be in touch with you as far as your questions that you answered and so on. So, and thank you for sharing it so eloquently with us. Another point that I'll share with you is our interns, we have a wonderful group from the University of New Haven. These are people who are studying to be teachers, but we also have another group of interns, and that's a group from Amity High School, and many of our own graduates. There are 13 in all, and they've just started working in our classes. So they're working with us. They started on Monday, and they'll be with us, correct, Ms. Prisco, until June 10th? Mrs. Prisco has been very active with this here and has assigned them strategically throughout the building. It's so interesting talking with the interns. They're enjoying their experience already. One is assigned to kindergarten, and she's so delighted to work with the children and help them out, and children just flock around her. Another's assigned to Mr. Taddy, and another two are assigned to the MAG classrooms. So they're having wonderful experiences, but it's a nice way of connecting with the high school and letting our children see role models in action with us. So thank you, Mrs. Prisco, for the work that you're doing with that. I do like to brag about our children, and I'm going to stand up and do this here because this past weekend there was a wonderful art exhibit at the Yale University properties. Now, these kinds of successes are not included in our state accountability report. They don't measure that. But our student artists from Beecher Road School, student artists were highlighted at a special exhibit in union with Madison Country School also. And there were hundreds of people who came to see the exhibit. And I want to show you some of the pictures. I can't help bragging. Oh, those are our interns, 13. Mrs. Prisco's in the middle. Pull me into the picture too. They are so energetic. They're so enthusiastic. And each one of them brings a special passion or interest that they're sharing with children too. So it's a very innovative program. One of them too, we just started in history in the making. We assigned an intern to the cafeteria. And this young man is a graduate of Beecher Road School, and he's very interested in the culinary arts. So he wanted to get involved, so we have a connection with their culinary program, and he's actively involved with that too. Okay, here's the art. Here's the theme of the theme was not ice cream. Somehow we got that. The first graders did an ice cream one. No.
Because it coincided with the opening of our with our Thusa.
Oh, that's right. Why don't you say that? Good.
So it coincided with the opening of an ice cream shop that is in Litchfield and now in New Haven, Arethusa. And while this was not the reason to attend, they did offer an ice cream cone to the children downstairs, and it's all it's delicious. I had one myself, but so there was a little bit of that to go with it, but also I'll let you continue with the rest of the song.
Please add. Mrs. Prisco was there. All of our administrators were there. Parents were there. People were coming off the street and so on. It was really a fun day. There are first graders. They were so proud of what they did. They all showed me the ice cream that day. Look at some of the artwork, though. And there was a theme based on the 100-year anniversary of Massaro Farm. So we are a community school. And what our wonderful art teachers and teachers told members of Massaro Farm, we don't want to get involved in a competitive art contest. What we'll do is involve the entire school in a theme based on the 100-year. So every classroom from kindergarten right up to 6th grade has participated in some way in this community event of celebrating a community farm. There's 100 candles there? Okay. Of course, we all had to get in the picture there. And And our art teacher, Mrs. Atchison and Ashley Wagner, the two of them, there's such a synergy that they really make the school come alive. Okay. Look at some of the art.
That was amazing.
Go on.
So, as you went around to each, and each one was a plate of food, and just the creativity to make those, and they were very well balanced. There was vegetable, and there was some had a little hamburger, and so that was one of my favorite pieces to see.
Parents were so proud. You can't see the detail, but she actually did the internal anatomy of the circulatory system of that chicken over there. So it's such fine detail.
That is one young man. So there was an area probably with maybe 6 to 8 different pieces like this created by one of our students.
So
With his own method, by the way, for making, so Mrs. Atchison teaches the pinch pot and so forth. He had his own method, and he has created so many pieces.
You know, there are opportunities for children here through Art Studio. Those who have a real passion for the arts to get involved in different ways. We're looking for ways too, and we will be in the coming year, that things will happen in STEM also, and whether that's robotics or anything else like that. But we're trying to just develop, giving children the option as far as what their passions are. You can see that with the broadcasting, you can see that with a number of programs. Student council is another one that's there. So we're trying to just expand the safety patrol is another. We're trying to expand the number of opportunities that children have to get involved in different things. Yes, we did celebrate there. There's a secret over there. What is that? It's a little secret.
That ice cream is delicious.
Let me show you a couple of other things, and feel free to comment, Mrs. Prisco. The student broadcasters mentioned the fact that Student Council is such a vibrant organization here, and it develops good local citizens, national, international citizens, and our Student Council is one of their activities, raise money for that canine first responder cause. And again, we have teachers who go above and beyond and given their time, and 4 of our teachers act as advisors to this here, Mrs. Nacuzzi, Mrs. Simowitz, Ms. Green, and Ms. Whitmire, all there. Children just love this here. Our Connecticut Math League, our children scored very, very well. I'll highlight a few things, and Mrs. Prisco, you add to it too. Our 4th graders, they were number 1 in the region, and that's among several states. And I think there were about 25,000 children participating. If I'm wrong, you'll let me know. And we had our one child had a perfect score. 6th grader had a perfect score in the country on that math, and was top achiever in Connecticut and nationally. And there were lots of others too. But again, it's an outlet as far as children who have a particular interest in mathematics. There's the young man, very, very proud. I just want to highlight this here too. There are lots of indicators of success. They don't all have to do with how many children take a test or how you do on a particular standardized test. An indicator of success is the fact that teachers are coming from other school systems to take a look at what's happening here. And here we have a group of teachers. There's some, I think, from New Canaan, maybe Westport, a few other districts, also from Scarsdale, some of the New York, Westchester County schools. And they're coming to talk about our workshop approach that we have that permeates all the classes of our schools, all the classes, no matter what the grade level. So they're coming here to talk about practice. And several of our teachers are involved in going outside the school and meeting with groups of teachers too, throughout the state to focus on this particular thing. We've had professional learning opportunities for administrators from one high-performing district several weeks ago, which I reported to you. Another district will be sending their administrators and teachers here too to take a look at our workshop approach. And the MAG program has a workshop approach that has permeated throughout the whole school. So there will be lots of opportunities in all the classes for types of things that are in MAG or vice versa. Okay, we're repeating ourselves here. Just mention the fact that our dear graduation is this Friday, and again, our students have won number one in the country. We thank our dear Officer Lynch, and it was Mrs. Prisco who first discovered that competition. So if I'm leaving anything out, why don't you enjoy that? Anything else about Beecher Road School that you want to highlight?
May I give my...
Of course.
Sure. So I always stand before you and give a Beecher Road School update. A few weeks back, we have the interns from the University of New Haven, and one of the supervisors who I meet with to talk about, ways in which we can help the interns grow, presented me with a paper that one of the interns wrote regarding Beecher Road School, and with permission, shared it with Dr. Stella. And so my Beecher Road School update is going to be from somebody else's eyes tonight. So he's given me permission to share his name. David Ransbottom is an intern that works in all of our classrooms. And so this is his reflection on diversity in the classroom. It's starkly noticeable how the diverse learning needs of all children are met at Beecher. Children in all classes are often breaking off and going to different rooms because that's where their learning will be best suited. Granted, that's not what the student's motivation is for doing so, but it is the underlying purpose. ELL students often disembark from the class line to Spanish class in order to receive further English instruction. Or they may not go to music class one particular day. With others, they'd rather go to band. In MAG class, where I am sometimes, students may miss their morning meeting to go off with their own specialists. Maybe they don't go to story in order to get individual reading help from their teacher, who isn't the storyteller that day. This is just a small portion of examples in the school. It is evident from the incredible number of specialists the school keeps on staff. It's not all help outside of the classroom either. There are a number of specialists who work with students in their regular classrooms, attending as paraprofessionals for a small stint in subjects the students might need help in or enrichment. Students who need help, various kinds of intervention to best be served, and Beecher explores as many avenues as possible to meet everyone's needs. I've been placed as a specialist a few times, and their schedules are absolutely packed, flying from one room to the next. It must be incredibly taxing on the specialists themselves to be changing gears so often. The students are also remarkably good about their peers who might need assistance. They treat them kindly, never mocking a student for their inability, and oftentimes acting as teacher themselves, making peer tutors naturally, because it's the right thing to do. I'm always impressed at the students who don't need the extra help, because they are often most intent on helping those who do. There is a diverse community of learners in each classroom, and the stratifications can be clear, but not based on how the students interact. This is what I find to be one of the most important aspects of keeping a child in mainstream education, because it benefits everyone, the other students and teachers included. The community atmosphere is prevalent at Beecher, mostly because there's such an emphasis on helping anyone who needs help and giving help. In my own experience, as well as in other schools I've been a substitute for, this is not the case. I'm quite relieved to find that there are schools where diversity is not only recognized, it's actively taken an assistance. The students aren't held up as symbols of assistance either. There are no overt statements telling other students, we really need to help Bobby out, he has some trouble with math. They just intuitively know that if Bobby looks like he's having a hard time, anyone who has a grasp over the concept could lean over and see if they can help bring him to understanding. The teachers also do a great deal in the way of differentiation, no matter what the need. Altering any worksheet to fit individuals, tailoring lessons to have extra emphasis in any particular vein. These are facets I've noticed when I go in to teach for many of the teachers at school. I particularly appreciate that the teachers go out of their way to make up different work for students who may not have a particular propensity for a subject or who may have a particular propensity for a subject. And then they simply pass out the work at the same time so that they can keep track of which student got which assignment with their names on them already. It just shows the level of caring the teachers have for their students, which is also evident in the way it carries over to the students and their interactions with one another. Such a large portion of elementary school is moral instruction as well as content, and the teachers at Beecher are absolute paragons of kind words and extra effort where necessary. I'm anxious to see how that compares to the rest of the country, because now I've seen both sides of the coin. I just hope that the Beecher mentality is more prevalent than the ones I saw growing up. I'd argue that it's likely, as there is a greater focus in the world of education on providing for all students on levels that best fit them than there was 15 years ago. A large part of what they teach us in class is to prepare to differentiate, which I think just sort of comes with the nature of the job. No two people are the same, so no two people will learn best the same. Now, there's no conceivable way to differentiate for everybody, but you can and should differentiate for any student who needs to move further and who shows signs of trouble comprehending and can be struggling. From the eyes of one of our interns who's been here for almost a year now.
That's amazing.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
absolutely
Beecher wrote update
amazing.
tonight.
So, you know, when you hear stuff like that, it's just so reaffirming for all the little things that come together. And I think that, and we say this all the time, or I hope we say this all the time, the faculty is the thing about Beecher. It's not the building, it's the faculty that we have here and we keep here and that do the amazing job. So I don't know how else to say thank you to the faculty.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The Beecher Road School is more than 4 walls or 10 walls, whatever we have here. It extends beyond the structure. All our 5th grade classes will be going to the Yale Art Gallery, focusing on the theme of light, in the next few weeks. And they'll come back and use their observations from the museum to create innovative pieces of writing and artwork. That's an example of many things that are happening in the school that are not so commonly known. But just remember, again, it was mentioned in the broadcast, Arts Week 9 is June 6th to 10th, and the theme is on recycling. So, that's my report.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, you went through that. We're on Finance Committee. So we didn't have a Finance Committee meeting, so we do have to go through the finance reports and approve them. So everybody has them in their packet. If we want to get a motion for the first one, then we can talk about it.
Of the 2015-16 DOE monthly summary financial report through April 30th, 2016, F1, as submitted by the Director of Business Operations.
Okay. And Dr. Sloan, I don't know if you wanted to say anything. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I could highlight some things, and
Okey-dokey.
and then we could also, if there are any particular areas of interest, we'll look forward to our next Finance Committee meeting, we could bring it there also.
Okay.
But, yeah, I would say a highlight would be the special ed projected deficit currently stands at almost $400,000. The total projected deficit, however, stands at $138,000. We've made a Herculean effort to really look at every account, every way of cost savings. So without impacting on our educational mission, we look for ways that we could reduce that very large unexpected deficit. And so we brought it down. We brought the nearly 400,000 down to 138,000. So I think that's good news. And we looked at a number of accounts for that, including wintergreen, transportation, electricity. We're very happy with the fact that we've had a chance to look at several of our bills over the past few months, and the new upgrade has really saved us money. So we were able to take surplus from that, and medical insurance, and also some building improvements, some things we could put off to next year because we're getting a lot this year. So that's some of the highlights of that particular point.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about the summary report? Okay, all those in favor? Okay.
With approval of the 2015-16 BOE monthly detailed financial report through April 30th, 2016, F2 through 5, as submitted by the Director of Business Operations.
Second. So I don't know, Dr. Stoll, if you want to point any...
As far as the school lunch and extended day.
No, this is still, we're still on the monthly
Oh,
detail.
the monthly detail,
Which, you did kind of go over.
I kind of tried,
Yeah.
I touched on it.
Okay. So we match, in terms of the deficit at this point on the detail report. Did anybody have any questions about an individual account or anything in the report? Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. All right. So now we're on the combining. We're still not to the...
Move approval of the 2015-16 BOE combining financial statements through April 30th, 2016, F7 and 8, as submitted by the Director of Business Operations.
Second. Okay. All right. Again, I don't know, Dr. Stella, if we're going to talk about the individual budgets for these programs going forward. I don't know if anybody had any comments on the combining statements.
I could make some general comments.
Okay.
By the way, I want to mention that Mr. Poole has been very much involved with putting this together and very much on top of all these things. He's absolutely my right hand with all of this here. And the school lunch and extended day programs, the financial statements show both programs operating with year-to-date net income, even after factoring in April being a 3 payroll cycle month. So with the exception of 2 months per year, each month typically has 2 payroll cycles, April has 3. And we had planned to present the 2017 program budgets for extended day, summer enrichment, and school lunch programs during the May Finance Committee, but again, that was canceled. So we'll be glad to bring more conversation to the June meeting with that.
Okay. I think we have them on the agenda for tonight.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
correct. But if there's any follow-up conversation. I'd also like to mention that Mr. Poole recommended, and I concur with this, a lunch increase to $2.80 for school lunch, which is currently $2.70, and $3.80 for adult lunches, which is currently $3.70.
Yeah, so we'll look at that when we get to
Okay.
the cafeteria
Got it.
proposal. Okay, so was there anything else on the combining financial statements? Okay, all those in favor of approval? Okay, great, thank you. Lisa?
Move approval of the 2015-16 cafeteria budget through March 31st, 2016, F12, as submitted by the Director of Business Operations.
Second. Okay, now this is the statement through March. This is the quarterly report. Marcia was good enough to remind me of when I asked her why it wasn't April, because it's a quarterly report. So that's what we're looking at now is F12, or are we looking at something else?
No,
F12.
now.
Okay. So at this point, this is just the status as of the end of March. We were at 130, school days. We've got like 50 school days left, or not on this report. So there's really no change recommendation. We're riding out the year and things are looking, pretty normal.
There was a slight drop in participation, but we'll take a look at that. That could be due to field trips, timing. We're not sure. We'll take a look at it, but it's just a slight drip.
Wait, is it just a timing issue that the net income is so high? For the year, we're at almost 24,000.
Where are you?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, look at the budget rather, at 13.6.
The budget is so much lower, you mean?
Well, just why we anticipate and have such excess of revenue over costs. Perhaps some of that is just timing of what's coming in and out.
I believe it's timing, but I think we could bring more conversation to our June.
And we do talk about it sometimes because we see here everything that's been collected, even if a parent has paid through June for the.
Do we?
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is all the money that we have
On
in the account, even if it hasn't applied yet for meals that have been used. And some parents pay. Okay, any other comments on the cafeteria budget? Or report, really? Okay, all those in favor? Okay. So now we're on the summer enrichment program.
I just, with the cafeteria, I just mentioned too that we are improving the quality of food being served and enhancing our offerings. Our consultant will be working with our student broadcasters too, to try to capture that, because there's a lot of things that are happening in the cafeteria right now that are not always captured in our report of the menu. So, and our next meeting of the Superintendent's Cafeteria Task Force, I believe, is next Monday, Marcia? Next Monday, that'll be the concluding one for this year. But we were very pleased with the number of people on the committee and the contributions made by everyone. And to Jane Roddy, too, who will be receiving 25-year service award for the work she's been doing, and our consultant, Chris Wallace, who's been doing fabulous work in kind of raising the standards, helping us to raise the standards.
So it's a little out of order in your packet. Oh, no, it's not. That's right.
Which one do we
The summer
want to do
enrichment.
next?
What, summer enrichment?
Yeah.
Should I move approval of the 2016-17 summer enrichment budget as presented? Second.
Okay. So, did you want to say anything about the summer enrichment?
It's basically what was reported last year. There was, we'll be here on site. I think our program will be expanded. There was a slight deficit at the last program, but there's a fund balance too. So it's healthy. It's very, very healthy, and we're looking forward to having it back at school.
And the increase is, it's longer again. Last year, we cut it off at 4 weeks.
That's correct.
And now it's 5
Yeah.
weeks again? Is it 5 or 6? 5?
5 weeks.
Okay. So the difference really between last year and, well, yeah, the actual from last year and this year is the expected increase from that additional week. And we expect additional enrollment because we're back here at Beecher
Yeah, because
again.
there were certain programs we couldn't
Right.
have at the high school.
Yeah.
that year, so.
And the kids will be cool in the building.
They'll be cool, absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
excited. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I have a question.
Oh,
Which is, I was just, as a point of curiosity, the total fixed expenses, none of the fixed expenses vary from last year to this year. Is there a reason why they stay flat? Not that there's anything wrong
I
with
think because
staying
it only
flat.
includes personnel, and we had to have those same, it includes the director, the nurse, the bookkeeping, and the custodians. Although the custodians usually could be a little less this year. But we budgeted that separately. Like, last year when we moved and the year before, we subsidized the move over and some of the custodial stuff. Or is that not?
Yeah, Lisa, what I'll do is, I think at the June meeting, bring our directors to the Finance Committee meeting to answer those questions specifically.
Are we going to approve the budgets tonight, or wait until we've talked about them at the Finance Committee meeting?
If we have questions that are significant enough that you don't want to approve them, then we can hold them for the June Finance meeting. If we feel that we understand enough about the budget without, an additional
Yeah,
presentation.
certainly, I don't have concerns that would maybe you want to hold them up if they need to have these approved tonight, that's fine by me.
I would recommend, unless there are pressing questions, to approve it tonight, but continue conversation too at the, actually hear the voices of the directors too, so you get the direct feedback at the June meeting.
Okay, is there any other questions about the summer enrichment? Okay, all those in favor of approval? Okay, thank you. And then the extended day budget.
Move approval of the 2016-17 extended day budget as presented.
Second. Okay, we're going back to F10.
Was Chris the second on that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so extended day, was that also last summer 4 weeks? Or did extended day do all of the weeks? Or did they just do 4?
I believe they did 4 weeks.
There's an extended day all year round.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of kids
We had
go
a
from
short-
SEP
yes.
to extended day, they do
It's
half
not all of
a day.
August,
But this isn't just for the summer, this is for this whole year.
Yeah. So like the 15-16 is through July 1st, and
So it
then
includes-
16-17 will include
Yeah,
all
we had it-
of next year.
Yeah, we had a shortened time last year.
Okay. So the increase is not as significant here. We're projecting maybe not as much activity, like for the additional week.
We're projecting a lot of activity this
Okay.
summer, so again, I'd like the director to come and answer some of
Okay.
the questions.
The other question I forgot to ask on the SEP, we haven't changed any fees? The SEP charges are the same?
No.
And same with extended day? Those
Yes,
fees have remained the
that's
same?
correct.
Okay.
And with extended day, there often are timing issues too, as far as collection of funds and so on. But I think the director should come and come to the finance committee and speak on these here.
Okay.
But we're expecting that, we were very pleased with the summer programs at Amity against all kinds of difficulties. The programs really provided a wonderful opportunity for our children. And so I give the directors and the teachers a lot of credit because they really extended themselves to make it work and to do a good job doing it. And everyone is really looking forward to coming back, and they're very excited about the myriad number of programs and types of programs that will be offered. So I think we're going to see a nice spike too.
Okay, so is everybody comfortable voting on this budget? Yeah, okay. Well, any more discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Right. And we're on the cafeteria budget.
Move approval of the 2016-17 cafeteria budget as presented.
And it's F11. Okay. And this is where Dr. Stella mentioned that the price of lunch, there's a recommendation to increase it by 4%, both for students and staff.
Yes, and if that's something you want to talk about more at the June Finance Committee, that's fine too. Or if you feel that...
Do we have a sense of what the average cost of lunch is at other schools in the area?
I know it's competitive. I don't have the figures at my fingertip, but that's why I said we could go to the June meeting, but it is competitive. And the two factors that are driving the slight increase is the fact that food costs have gone up, and secondly, we are trying, and we've kind of got encouragement from the board too, to enhance the offerings that we have. So those two things are...
Do we have a sense of people that don't qualify for like federally reduced lunch, but request, are there people that request subsidy just otherwise for lunches, help with paying for their kids' lunches?
It's just free and reduced lunch, and it's a form...
But let's say they don't qualify for free or reduced lunch. Is there a way of helping those families?
No. So again, we could carry that over to next month.
I would prefer to carry this one over until we've had a chance to pass it.
Absolutely.
All right.
And we could bring some of these statistics as far as what other districts are charging, things like that.
Okay. So we moved and seconded, so what do we have to do, Marcia? Just agree to wait?
You can just defer action until the
Okey-doke.
June meeting.
Okay. All right, so we're through all of the finance reports. Facilities?
We have not met since the last meeting, but I believe we're meeting next Thursday. Is that right, Marcia? 26th.
On the board, but we can schedule it if you like.
Is that the Thursday?
Yeah, the third Thursday would be this Thursday. but
This
I don't
coming
have
Thursday,
time.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think we
Yes.
should just make it
Okay.
26th, I would propose.
And the building committee, Dr. Stella, I don't know if you want to just give a quick update for the
On
public.
the upgrade. We're just about finishing. There's something called commissioning, which means a checking of everything that was supposed to be done to make sure that it was done. And I guess we're about close to 90% finished with that. And some things are weather dependent, like the air conditioning system. We're waiting for the right kind of day.
We needed to get hot.
We needed to get hot, right? So we're right at the tail end, the very tail end of the upgrade. We've scheduled the ribbon cutting for the what's the date? The
31st.
31st. Yeah, so
At what
please
time
come.
was that again?
9:15.
9:15. And what we anticipate, if we could do this year, our invited guest, we anticipate if the weather is good, having the whole school out there, because we should all celebrate together with the children. Having our musical band there too, have some commentary from distinguished visitors, and taking our invited guest to the rotunda, and we're trying hard to see if we could get a short media kind of presentation that tells the story of the upgrade, as well, if possible, to get aerial shots of the solar panels, because we have over 900 solar panels on our roof. You can't see them, but they're up there. And then maybe take that media show and really present it at different locations in town.
I happened to notice that at the Woodbridge baseball opening day, one of our future graduates had apparently taken overhead video of the opening day ceremonies, I presume with a drone. Maybe you could speak with them about getting some footage.
I'm glad you mentioned it, because it's been done already.
Oh.
So that was going to be the surprise, but the surprise.
you ruined it.
You're supposed to say spoiler alert.
No, that's fine. We have to see if we can get that video. We'd love to see it.
That would be very
We got
nice.
special permission to have the drone fly it over and so on. So they had a drone of the
Over
baseball.
opening day ceremony?
Did they get me
That's
waving
awesome.
there?
And getting your jacket,
Yeah,
Dr.
getting my
Stella.
jacket. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
So anything else on that?
No, I think,
Yeah, the doors are a nice addition, the south doors, let me tell you. I'm so glad, thank you again, citizens, for adding that piece to it. It was the last thing that was added to it. It's going to make a difference.
Okay, Kate, Lisa?
Naomi, what they have coming up is a development session on collective bargaining. I think we don't have much of that on the table right now, coming up in June 7th, but then that's about it.
All right. An upcoming meeting, I don't think we had any special things scheduled for the June meetings, because it's usually
We have
a
the
lot going on.
before the meeting, presentation of the CAPS award.
Right. All right, new business, we need to act on the IDEA grant submission. We do this every year, so Dr. Stella, well, first we need a motion.
Move approval of the 2016-17 IDEA grant for submission to the Connecticut State Department of Education.
Second. Okay, if you could just briefly tell us about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, our special ed director couldn't be with us tonight, but the IDEA is something that's done annually. It's pretty prescriptive as far as what we do. Our funds are kind of limited. It ties in and doing supplementary work, not supplanting what we're doing with our special ed children. So it's basically the same each year. That's the short version.
And do we expect the same money in the budget? We're hoping?
Yes, there might have been a slight decrease in it, but we have our fingers crossed that there aren't more.
Okay.
Everyone's on pins and needles with all kinds of budgets.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions on the grant? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, great. I think that's it. Yep. I lost my pen. Oh, here we go. Just make sure we can find that. Oh, public comment again. No. Okay. Oh, I have the sheet. Nobody can sign up. That's how to do it. Okay. You keep the sheet. All right, and that's it. We need to move it to adjourn. Okay.
May as well. Second.
Okay. All those in favor of adjourning? Thank you. Yeah, you don't.